I issued forth with a My Take, otherwise known as an editorial, all about identity politics, which has been the mainstay of the Democrats for at least a generation. I'm saying that something's going on in America these days, and one of the things that's going on is the decline, the demise, I think, of identity politics. I certainly hope so. Joining us now is Mark Steyn, conservative author and syndicated columnist. Now, what do you think, Mark? I mean, the Democrats seem like they're going to continue with identity politics, but I think it's one of the losing issues of the last election. What say you?
Yes, I think you're right. I think Trump won in part because people don't want to be treated on the basis of the color of their skin or their sexual preferences or whatever. They want to be treated as citizens in a free society, co-equal with their other fellow citizens. But the Democrats are doubling down on this stupidity. Bernie Sanders' big campaign advisor just said the other day that they don't need Howard Dean at the DNC because they don't need another white man. A day after that, Hillary's super PAC honcho tweeted that Bernie Sanders is a white supremacist. These are the two coolest guys in the Democrat Party, and they're just old, white, dead, irrelevant white men. Bernie Sanders happens to be a New York Jew in rural Vermont, which in terms of being a minority is a bit like being, you know, a gay nightclub owner in Riyadh. It's about as small a minority as you can get. And the only way for Democrats to get beyond this now is to do what Elizabeth Warren does and pretend to be one 32nd Cherokee so that you get hailed as Harvard Law School's first woman of color, when in fact she's the whitest white since Frosty the Snowman fell in a vat of whiteout. And people laugh at this insanity, but the Democrats are doubling down on it.
I forget to tell the audience that you're a very good comedian and you bring a little bite to your political humor. Mark, we love it, okay? Don't stop, don't stop. Give me your comments, please, on Jill Stein opening up the recount effort in 3 states and Hillary Clinton joining in. What's your take on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's hypocritical because it's only, I mean, you must get whiplash defending the Democrats in the media because 20 minutes ago it was Trump who was delegitimizing the entire democratic process in the United States by hinting that there could even be any funny business going on. Now the Democrats are part of it. There's actually something dangerous in this. Though, Stuart, that you risk signaling to the people by making it all about lawsuits or Russian hacking or whatever. You risk actually telling the people that there is no way they can peacefully express a preference for a change of policy. So if Jill Stein were to win, and which basically means finding some cockamamie judge in a couple of states to stay the official decision of that state's vote, if Jill Stein and Hillary were to prevail, I think you're basically moving us into real banana republic territory where the people cannot express their preference at the ballot box because it'll all be finagled with a lot of mumbo-jumbo afterwards. And that's very dangerous.
Do you think that there is something going on in America that's bubbling away under the surface that came out in the election? Some fundamental sea change in our culture, do you think?
Yeah, I think so, and I think you see that in the United Kingdom with Brexit too, and I think you see it in France to a degree that will become clear in their presidential election. I think the people of advanced Western societies have figured out that the elites have got a racket going that works pretty well for them, but that in fact doesn't do anything for huge masses of the electorate. And they're tired of being condescended to by stupid people. It's one thing to be condescended to by people who are brilliant and clever and make shrewd decisions. But to be condescended to by elites who are telling you that jobs have gone, that there's nothing to look forward to except doing an $8 an hour overnight shift at the the quickie crap until the day you drop dead, and turning advanced Western societies into cheap service economies, I think this is a big sea change, and it's the end of the post-Second World War conventional wisdom on a lot of this stuff. I think that's a pretty big thing that's happening.
What do you make of Nigel Farage, the guy who led the Brits out of the European Union? He says he can't go anywhere for fear of a violent attack, has to have security everywhere. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think that's right. Nigel and I took part in a debate in Toronto a few months ago, and at the end of it we were standing on the sidewalk kind of at midnight or whatever it was, and Nigel was actually relieved at being in a city where he didn't have to worry about someone coming up to him in a pub and slugging him or breaking a beer glass in his face. And again, that gets to this obsession with identity politics, where the left in both the United Kingdom and the United States is actually criminalizing policy differences. So they're saying, you don't just have a difference of opinion with me on climate change or the EU or immigration or transgendered bathrooms. You're actually advancing a position that is evil and that you shouldn't be advancing. Well, if you do that often enough, people take it seriously and they do start getting violent over it. And the left's list of what you can't discuss keeps getting longer. So as I said, it starts with climate change and immigration and Islam, and then it winds up with stuff like transgendered bathrooms. But the list of the stuff that there's only one correct view on keeps getting longer. And the minute you do that, you shouldn't be surprised when a totalitarian mindset sets in, as we see on a lot of college campuses these days, where effectively they're one-party states, and they want that one-party state, as Heather MacDonald was saying, they want that ideological one-party state imposed throughout the rest of the country too.
Real fast, Mark, what's your take on Fidel Castro?
I rejoice that he's dead, and it is disgusting that the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of Canada and the Leader of the Opposition in the UK and all kinds of other people are in fact choosing to mourn and to celebrate a mass murderer. And shame on them for being unable to say honestly who this man was. He drove a fifth of his population to flee the country. He killed thousands. He's an evil man. He should be on a roasting spit in hell. And for Barack Obama and Justin Trudeau and Jeremy Corbyn in London to be unable to distinguish between a freely elected leader and a mass-murdering dictator, the left's romance with totalitarianism is disgusting.
You know, you've got a new show, the Mark Steyn Show. I think it's going to be popular with stuff like that. Tell me real fast about it.
Well, I've been practicing. I've been practicing, like the way you went into the last break, Stuart. I thought that was... Do we go to him now? Where is he? Do we go to music? It takes hours of rehearsal to make it look that professional, Stuart. I take my hat off.
That was vicious, Steyn. I don't care where your show is. There you go. Mark, it is a pleasure, and you are a popular guy on this program. We thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you, sir.
I always love it, Stuart.
Good luck. Thanks a lot.